Hi, welcome to DP Animations. My name is Leonard. So today's tutorial is based on the virtual set series that I'm doing with After Effects. But in today's set design, we will be adding material reflections. So please kindly like, subscribe, and comment. Alright, let's start. So let me open After Effects here. Let's create a new composition, 1920 by 1080. Let me name it main. All right, and the duration maybe something like 10 seconds is okay. So we have our stage set here. All right, this would have been good if I had designed all these in Illustrator, then bring the image here, then convert all into a shape layer. Maybe in my next tutorial I might do that. All right, so to have a perfect circle, I will create another composition and use it as a measurement. Okay, so let me give it a measurement of something like 500 by 500. Okay, just a quick one. Then create new shape layer, select shape layer, then come to the menu bar, the ellipse tool, double click on the ellipse tool to have your perfect circle here. Okay, then copy the shape here. Let me copy the shape. Come to your main, then paste it here. Now create another solid layer, make it white. All right, so after that, come to the view, then select show rulers. This solid layer is also for measurement, so click and drag a rule to the middle here, click here and drag it here. Okay, now after that you can delete the solid layer so that you'll be left with only the shape layer. Now start in the middle of the anchor point of the shape layer, then drag it into the middle of the ruler here. All right, now you can clear your rulers. All right, so now we have our shape layer here. Let me change it to white. Okay, now we are not going to use the stroke, so we will turn off the stroke and on the fill. So let me on the fill here. Okay, so this is what we are going to use here. All right. Oh, I made a mistake. I shouldn't have taken off the rulers. All right, let me just bring them back, then try to create the wall behind so that this tutorial will be a bit fast. Okay, so the wall behind, I want the spacing within it to be somewhere here. So let me create a new shape layer, new shape, then come to the pen tool, select the pen tool. Okay, so this shape layer, we are going to use only the stroke. All right, so click here, then maybe click here, then click here. Okay, then let me off the fill, then on the stroke. All right, now let's convert this shape layer to curve. So let me click here, then drag to curve it. So okay, this curve is okay, and the tip here, it looks a bit curved there, so let me make it straight by clicking it there. All right, so I'll leave it like this. Okay, I'll leave it like this, then maybe bring it, drag it forward here, then increase the stroke a bit. Okay, so we are good to go. Now select the two layers, then make them 3D. All right, now press R on the keyboard, done an X rotation. Let's type -90, -90 on this one too, -90. Okay, so select the two, hold the shift key, then drag them down. All right, so now let's off the one behind, the stroke behind, so that it will be left with only the middle circle here. Okay, so now the middle one, click on the cascading arrow beside it, then come to the geometry options, then extrude. Let's make it something like 50, the extrusion 50. 50 is okay. Now 50 is okay. Let's duplicate it. Now the bottom one, let's come to the contents, ellipse, then transform ellipse 1, then scale it up a bit, something like 110 or so. Let me bring it down, the scaled one down. Okay. Because we don't have light in the scene, we are not seeing what is going on. So let me set just a default light. We may take it off later. So right click in, new, then insert light. A point light is okay. All right. So I think the scaling is not enough. So let me go something like 150. So 150 is okay. Then duplicates again. Then the one at the bottom, let me give it the scaling 200 again. Okay. Then bring it down. Bring it also down. So here it's okay. All right. For time's sake, we are not going to create the entire thing, but I will show how I created it. All right. The main focus here was the material application, which was the environment. All right. Okay. Now we have default light in the scene. Let's bring a default camera to new camera. Okay. So press C for camera. Rotate the scene a bit down here. Okay. Now we are in business. Now let me bring this one down a bit. Okay, now let's come back to the ring behind. Let me change the color of that one to something like, let me use red. Okay. Now let's click on the arrow beside it, then come into contents, shapes, then transform shape 1. Let's increase the size by scaling it. So this is enough. Something like 150. Let me make it 150. It's enough. All right. Now come to geometry options on it. Then the extrusion. Extrusion. Let's go something like, let me see 50. The extrusion 50. No, the extrusion. Let's go something like 30. Okay, 30 is okay. All right. Then the shape, the stroke. Let's go. Let me see 100 and see. So I think 100 is okay for the shape. All right. Now duplicate the shape, then pull one up. Okay, one will go up. That's for the backdrop. Now press C, camera, then rotate to see what we are creating first. Now let me pull this one up. Then this one will come down a bit. All right, so now we are in business. All right, so let's create a shape or a solid layer for the floor. Okay, let me make it something like a dark blue. Okay, then make it 3D. Let me bring it under here. Press R on it, then on X rotation, let's go 90. Then bring it down. Press S and scale it up. So let me bring this shape up a bit more. Let me clear this and this. All right. So basically, this is how I did the setup. Okay, just that I took my time in arranging these things to have what you saw there. Okay, so when doing yours, this is just the process. So take your time, then arrange it. Okay, so let me duplicate the shape again, Control D. Okay, now the duplicated one, come to the cascading arrow beside it, then come to geometry options, then the extrusion depth, let's increase it all the way down. Okay, so it touched the one on the ground. All right, then the stroke, let's make it 50. Let me make it 20 rather. 20. Okay. All right. So that's where we are going to set our image. All right. Now let's create another composition. Maybe 1920 by 800. Let me name it image. Okay. So now I have an image here. Let me bring it in to image. One is a material that I'm going to use for the reflection, and the other is the image. So let me bring the image in and scale it up. Or if you have another image, you can use it. Okay, so now let's come back to our main. So now let's click and drag the image composition in here. Okay, and let's make it 3D. First, without the geometry option, you can just use the cylinder to curve the image. But now with the geometry options, you don't need the cylinder. After making this come 3D, you can just click on the cascading arrow, then come to geometry options. Okay, so under geometry options, you have the curvature and the segments. So the curvature curves your solid layer or composition. Then the segments increase the smoothness within it. Okay, now let's curve it. Let's increase it. You see that it's curving? You see that? All right. Let me switch the view to custom view 1. It's curved, but it's not smooth. You see this 1, 2, then 3, 4. Okay. So by increasing the segments within it, that will smoothen it. You see? 26, and it's already smooth. So let me put it at something like 30. So 30 is okay. So now it's behind the backdrop there. So what I'll do is I'll just click and drag it forward so that it will come into the backdrop that I have. Let me switch to active view, then use the camera. So press C on the camera, then rotate this. Stand at the edge, then compress it in. Okay. All right. So let me go in a bit more. It's a gradual process. Just gradually pull it backwards so that it will fit in. Okay. So I think this is enough. If it fits in perfectly for you, you can open it up gradually here. You see that? You can go back into the image com. Okay. Then reduce it if that's okay for you. Instead of the 1920, you can make it 1500 and see if that will help. Okay, compress it a bit. So now let's come to our main and see something different here. Okay, so I think this is far better. Let me pull it backwards. Okay, now let me open it up. So this is cool. I think this is way better. All right. So now press C on the camera, then rotate it. So it looks like our image is taller than our wall behind. So it's not a problem. Just select the image, the one on top, then pull it up. Okay. Just pull it up. That's all. Then pull this one to up. Then come inside this one. Then the extrusion depth, increase it so that it will touch the one on the floor. Cool. Then you are set. So we have this. All right. All right. Now let's press C for zoom in camera. Then push it towards us. C again for the palming. Then C. CC for rotation camera. So you have something like this. Okay. All right. So now let's take out the default lights that we place in, then insert in an actual light. Okay. So let me clear this one. Then right click in new lights. Then I'll choose a parallel light. Click OK. Okay. Now come to the custom view 1. Custom view 1. Then move the light to this angle. Let me push it backwards. Let me go up a bit more. Then set the focus here. Then maybe let me duplicate it. Or let me insert another one, new lights, parallel lights, click OK. Then bring this one to this angle too. Backwards, let me pull it up. Then set it here. All right. Now let's come to the active camera view. So this is our scene here. Okay. This is our scene. So you can insert a point light at the top, new lights, point lights. Then reduce the intensity. Intensity, let's go something like 50. Okay. Then the image Click on the cascading arrow beside it. Come inside the material options. Accept slides. Let me off it. All right. Press C on the camera, then rotate your scene. Then C again to zoom in. Okay. Then press the C to bring out the palm camera. Then pull it up. Okay. Now let's try to create a bit of screen panel on the surface of the image there. So let me come inside the image. Then right click in new. Then select solid layer. Okay. Make it black. Then come to effects and presets and type grid. Right. Then apply it. So on grid, I'll select the width slider, then open it, increase the width slider. Can be something like this. Let me see how it will look over on it here. Okay, let me come inside. Let me make it black. Okay, then the border, let's make it 3. So this is okay. All right. Now let's come to the main focus of our tutorial, which is the material application, the reflections. Okay. Now, here is the reflection. Okay. Click and drag it into the comp icon here to create a composition for the reflection. Okay. Now let's name it reflection. Okay. Now let's come to the main and drag the reflection down here. Then off it. Okay. Now right click on the reflection, then come to and select environment layer. All right. So after that, I will select the image down here. Okay. I'll select that particular image on the floor there. Then come inside. All that I'm going to do here is increase its material option, reflection, and the shyness. Okay. So the reflection intensity here is 0. So see what's happening once I start increasing it. Are you seeing what I'm seeing? You see that there's a reflection going on. This image behind it is reflecting onto it. Okay, so now the reflection, let me make it something like 50. Okay. Now if you want to increase the shyness, the specular shininess, you can increase it. Okay. All right. So I increase it to, let me see the specular, let me just make it 50. So everything will be 50-50 there. All right. Let me select the next image to the same thing. That's the main focus on the tutorial today. So the reflection intensity, let me go 50. With a specular shyness, 50. The one on top to the same. 50-50. 50 on the reflection. Then the specular shyness, and make it 50 as well. Okay. So now you see how the reflection is giving depth to our scene. So now what is left here is this. If I want to make the edges of this scene smooth, I can do that. All right. So now the one on top here, what is it? So the one on top here, let me duplicate it. Okay. Then change the color to red. All right. Let me move it up a bit. Okay. Now click on the cascading arrow beside it. Then come to content. Then ellipse. Then transform ellipse 1. Then scale. Let me make it 80. So I don't want the one on top here to be reflective. So what I'll do is, but first let me pull it down. It's way up. Okay. So let me come inside the material options. Okay. Then the intensity, let's go 0. The reflection intensity, let's go 0. Then the shyness, let's go 0 as well. Okay. All right. This one, I can change it to something like yellow. Okay, yellow is better. So let me pull it down a bit more. Okay. So now we have this. So we have our first scene here. Okay. Now, when you see the video I showed at the beginning, I had red carpet here. Okay, that is not difficult. Let me change the view to top view and see something. So the top view, what I'll do is I'm going to create a shape layer for that. Okay, so let me first hide these ones, so I'll be left with this and this. Okay, so the first one, let me try to be fast with this one so that we won't waste time. Okay, so the first one, let me create a new solid layer, a new shape layer. Then select the pen tool. I'll stand here, click here, then click here, then click in the middle somewhere here. Okay, then click here, then click here. So let me select the curve, convert vertex to, then curve this particular point. Okay, so I'm going to use this as the measurement for all. Okay, if there's a bit of problem that the arrangement is not smooth, just pardon me, we are in a hurry to finish it. So when creating yours, take your time to arrange it. Okay, all right, so now let me off the stroke so that it will be left with the fill. Now let's come to the active camera. Let me make it 3D. Okay, let me change the color beside it to something like aqua. All right, now press R or rotation, X rotation minus. Let me make it minus 90. Let's see where it goes. Oh, it's up there. So let me bring it down. All right, so come inside here, then on geometry options, the extrusion depth, let's go 50. Okay, let me see something. Press C on the camera. Let me press C on the camera, then rotate this so that I see if there's any mistake here. Okay, so we are good to go. So let me just position this thing well. I'm gonna bring it down well. So let me bring it down to the level of the one on top there. Okay, so just duplicate this one and push it backwards. Okay, then maybe bring it down a bit. Press C, then rotate it. So let me bring the next stairs or shape underneath it. Okay, so it's pretty far away from this one, so I have to stretch it a bit, I think. So let's move it all the way back. Okay, and move this one a bit backwards. Okay, so this one, what I'm going to do is I'm going to push it forward a bit. Okay, so let me select the pen tool, then select the anchor, the points, the 2 points. Let me switch the camera to top view, then the 2 points, let me move them. Okay, so this is enough. Now let's come back to, let me come back to active. All right, so let me duplicate this one again, then bring it also back, bring it down. Now let me on the next stairs. Okay, all right, so let me rotate the same backwards, let me bring it back to view, see on the camera, then push the scene upwards. Okay, so basically this is how I did the arrangement. I just took my time to arrange it well. Okay, so C again for rotation, C again for rotation. So let me see this image right here and push it downwards. So we ain't gonna focus too much on this, okay? But the last one, let me push it a bit down. Let me bring it out. Okay, so if you are satisfied with it, you can just duplicate one. Okay, that will be the line. So push this one all the way backwards. Okay, then switch the camera to top view. Let me see, let me bring this one up here so that I can see. Let me select the pen tool, then come here, click on the points, hold the shift key, click on this one too, then move the points all the way, okay, all the way in, okay. All right, so this is enough. So from here, when you come back to your active view, you can just push it backwards so that this one will be your line, the walkthrough line to your stage. Okay, so let me push it backwards a bit more. All right, let me press C, then set my stage well. So you see how easy it is. All right, so we have our set, a simple one like that. Okay, so if you have an image that you want to insert in, you can go ahead and insert the image. Okay, so when you see it, this same set, it can be a stage that can be used to host program, like maybe a beauty contest or stuff like that. And at the same time, a news program can also be done on the same set. Okay, so it's like a multi-purpose stage. All right. Okay, guys. So with this tutorial, I hope you pick something out here. Okay, with the reflection, our main focus here was the material reflection here. Okay, so if you want the same reflection to be on this here, we can do that. We can create the top ones too. Those are easy things. Okay, but the main focus is these ones. Okay. All right, guys. Please kindly like, subscribe, and comment. All right. All right. So from here, if you want to animate this, it's easy actually. Okay. All that you have to do is just right-click in New, then select Null Objects. Okay. Make the null object 3D. Then select the camera. Click on the pick whip or parent it to the null objects. All right. So in this case, you can decide to use the position to animate, or you can come to effects. That you can use the null object position to animate, or come to effect and type separate XYZ positions to animate. Okay. So when you hit E and bring out the separate XYZ positions on the null object, you can use the XYZ to animate. You see that? So maybe you are far away, you set a key on Z, then something like let me see, 4 seconds, you zoom in into your scene. See that? Okay. So now when you come here, it looks like the floor, the size is not enough, so you can increase it to fill it up. Okay. If the lightening is not enough for you, you can still insert more lights. So let's play it and see. Please kindly like, subscribe, and comment. All right. See you next time.